So welcome back guys to We Talk Boxing, and today I'm going to be talking about the big upset which took place on the weekend between Jaime Munguia versus Bruce Surace. Now, as always, I probably have butchered this guy's surname, but he absolutely butchered and destroyed Jaime Munguia on the weekend. Now, prior to this fight, I hadn't heard of this guy. He is he's still unbeaten, I should say. 26-0 with 2 draws on his record, with 5 KOs now on his record. Now, before the fight with Munguia, he only had 4 KOs, so most people were like, yeah, this should be an easy stoppage victory or KO victory for Jaime Munguia, or potentially a points win, because there's no way realistically that he should get knocked out because this guy's not a puncher. But we were all wrong. In 28 bouts, this guy had 4 KOs. Now, this KO against Jaime Munguia was unbelievable. It was a massive punch when it came, and to be fair, when I watched the fight back in the same round, it was about a minute 30 something. The guy threw the same shot but missed by a couple of inches, and then literally the same round later on, he caught him with the counter, and it was a poor defense. You had to kind of say from Jaime Munguia, but yeah, he got caught, got clipped, and up until that point, I had Jaime Munguia winning the fight, because the fight had started, and yeah, most people could have probably potentially have given it a 10-10 first round, or maybe I would have probably edged towards the Bruno guy. I just felt as if he landed a few more decent shots in that first round, but it was quite, even. You couldn't really split them, but I just preferred the work of that Surace guy in the first round. But second round was quite comprehensively a Jaime Munguia round because he put him down, so naturally it's a 10-8 round, although both guys were throwing some good shots against each other. So yeah, it was quite a competitive round, even though the guy went down in the second round. And then rounds 3 and 4, I scored it to Jaime Munguia. However, Munguia, for some reason, stopped what he was doing well. And what he was doing well for me was that he was staying out of range, and then, letting his hands go and then coming inwards and landing with two or three other shots, then moving back out of range. So he was doing that well, and the guy just looked like he shouldn't really be in the ring with Jaime Munguia. But then something changed towards probably the mid half of round 4, where Jaime Munguia just decided to stand toe to toe with this guy, and doing that gave this guy confidence, because this guy was starting to let his hands go and he was catching Munguia. Even though Munguia was catching him, this guy was getting confidence. He was getting closer by landing his shots. And even if you're not a big puncher, if someone's going to give you a free shot, you're going to cause some damage. And round 5, again, very competitive round between both guys. I personally would have scored it to Jaime Munguia, but this guy was getting more confidence, and he was gaining confidence by letting his hands go, catching Munguia with some brilliant combination work, just couldn't put him down. And round 6 was pretty much the same as what I just said, apart from Jaime Munguia got caught. He got caught slipping. So for me, Munguia was winning the fight up until he got caught with that big right hand, and it was a massive punch. Now, if the punch didn't carry as much power as what it did, then I probably would have said there's probably some match fixing going on here, because like the amount of money that people would have lost betting on Jaime Munguia against this guy would have been unbelievable, because no one would have had this guy winning the fight. Now, what this does for this guy, it's going to boost him and it's going to put him up in the rankings. Now, currently, according to Boxing.live, this guy's not ranked in the top 15 in any of the governing bodies, but I guarantee he will be now. And I gather that Jaime Munguia is going to lose, or not lose, but he's going to drop down in the rankings, because according to the Ring magazine, he's ranked as the number 1. Obviously, Canelo's the Ring champion. And then obviously in the other governing bodies, Jaime Munguia's, well, he was ranked quite nicely, but after this loss, he's not going to be. IBF, he was 5, WBA, he was 4, WBO, he was 3, and WBC, he's 2. So he's going to drop down the pecking order a little bit because he suffered that brutal, devastating knockout. But there will be a rematch, and that rematch will come quite quick because I no doubt guarantee that Jaime Munguia is going to want to put right the wrongs that happened in that fight, and the wrong is that he got caught because he was winning the fight. So I reckon that fight's going to probably happen, the rematch that is, the early part of next year because Jaime Munguia, you know, I mean, I considered him to be one of the guys to clean up once Canelo vacates or whatever he does in terms of his career, retires or whatever. I put Munguia down as one of the guys to be the next best thing. But after suffering that massive loss, it's crazy to see what happens next in his career. But yeah, I still would favour Munguia to beat this guy in a rematch, even though he got knocked out. But once your jaw's been tested like that, you've always got to know that someone could put your lights out with just one punch. And that's pretty much what it was because, as I said, both guys were catching each other with some brilliant combinations and stuff. But this guy summoned the gods with that one shot. But you guys can let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Did you watch the fight? How did you score it up until the knockout? And do you feel that Jaime Munguia can beat this guy in the rematch? As always, guys, please subscribe and comment. Bless.